the other topic I wanted to talk about is about mental health. I think a lot of the times as human beings um, we care about health. We think of health in terms of what we eat, what we drink, exercising, having muscles, having abs, and stuff like that. But I do think that we need to, for you to even want to be healthy, it all starts in the mind. It all starts you thinking about, maybe I should eat a little bit more healthy. Or maybe you watch some video, you start to think about what you watched, and you feel inspired. It all starts in the mind. So I just wanted to talk about mental health. And me and my one of my colleagues, actually, we always laugh at lunch. Like we've gone through so many phases. There was this time at lunch, we just we were very stressed out at lunch, and we were thinking about how do we get the stress off of our brains. So we started to just laugh and goof about, record stuff. And we were so sad because we were so flat broke, like flat broke, and we were accountants. So it's like, how the hell am I this broken? You know what I mean? But yeah, in that moment, I found myself asking myself, like, what must determine my happiness? Is it whether I'm broke? Is it, I don't know, is it the weather? Because in England, like, I'm from Zimbabwe originally, but when I moved here, it's so freaking cold. Even like in summer, it's sunny, but it's a bit cold sometimes as well. And sometimes that cold, that weather can dim down your mood. So yeah, the question is, what really should determine your happiness? Is it the weather? Is it whether you have some dollar or some pounds in your bank account or not? Is it what you look like, the externals, which can change? And sometimes as people age, some people look better with age, but most people, look appearance, it kind of changes with age as well, even when you do take care of yourself. And I just feel like none of this should determine, it should kind of like determine whether somebody is happy or not. Of course, these are topics that can cause stress, especially um like the topic of money, because we do need money. But yeah, my point is that do not let anything at all determine whether do not let like material determine whether you're happy or you're sad. Your happiness and your sadness is something that you should make a conscious effort to decide. So I also wanted to talk about like things that you can do to lift yourself up when you're feeling sad in that moment. One is music. A really really good song, like, I'm from Africa, and a good African song, it never fails me. 5 minutes of feeling depressed, 1 minute of listening to African Afro beats, my depression is gone if I'm depressed in that very moment. Now that's number one. Number two, think about like journaling stuff. If you're feeling anxious, like if you struggle with anxiety, like if you're feeling extremely like overwhelmed, you could just journal in your diary, or you could call a friend. That's number three, a trusted friend, someone that you know that you can feel safe to to let them in on how you're truly feeling inside. Because I think when you're opening yourself up about your feelings, that's very vulnerable. It's extremely vulnerable, even in a relationship of like a man and a woman. People think the act of engaging maybe in sexual conduct is truly opening yourself to somebody, but I think being vulnerable emotionally, letting someone know how you think, how you feel, how you're feeling, that's even deeper than sex itself. Anyway, back to other topic, the topic that we're on. The other thing that you can do to relieve yourself is to, if you're not at work, just simply go for a jog. If you're at home, if you have a park nearby, if you don't like jogging, you can, I don't know, adapt a sport. Because when I feel extremely stressed out, all I do is to get my basketball ball and start to play basketball. I sweat for a bit and I start to feel better. Or you just pick up the guitar, which I'm still trying to teach myself and I'm still bad at it. So I'm sharing based on what I've tried and what really does work. And sometimes cry it out. It helps to cry out. My one of my friends from back home she used to always say that, her name is Vavariro. She used to always say that, like, if she was crying and I saw her crying, she'd be like, I'm not crying, I'm just cleaning my eyes out. That's all she would say. So yeah, have a good cry. Sometimes it's very important because as children we cry when we want to, but as adults, even in public, it almost feels like if you cry, it feels like it feels awkward. It doesn't feel like it's a natural thing, and yet we laugh naturally. Naturally, if you laugh, you're not gonna look around and say, "Oh, people are watching me laugh," unless if you're extremely self-conscious. But when we cry, we want to hide that we're crying. We want to cry when we're in bed alone, you know, under the pillow, making sure our roommates don't hear us. Like, only God can hear us. But no, girl, you can cry. You can let the tears fall even on the street, even at work. I think for me, I've cried at work before, and it works. The boss becomes more considerate of you. So that really does work as well. And prayer works. If you're a firm believer in God, definitely praying helps. And I think what really helps is getting things off your chest and talking it out, and the fact that you know that you're living it. If you're faith, you're living it in the hands of a higher power. That really does take the stress off of your chest onto something else or to somebody else. The other thing that you can just do to overcome, the blues is to find other interests that are not harmful, um, outside of what I just mentioned, be it cooking. But sometimes those feelings of feeling down, they can just strike you, whether you're at work, whether you're at like a worship, or like, I don't know, with your friends or something, or anywhere. So I think what you need to do is to just acknowledge that you're feeling sad, try to address as to why you're really feeling sad, address the issue, the real issue, because sometimes when we're feeling, for example, when I feel anxious, it's usually an indicator that I need to do something. That's why I'm constantly anxious about something. There's something that I need to address. Until I address that thing, I'll keep feeling anxious. So yeah, ask yourself why you're feeling that way and get to the root of the problem, and then admit and own that you're feeling sad in that moment. Because I think there's one thing that the last thing that I'm gonna leave you with, because I keep talking and talking and talking non-stop, just gotta love myself. English not my first language. Anyway, oh yeah, one thing I think is, which is good to remember, is that you will never truly appreciate happiness if you've never known sadness. So it's good to embrace that you're sad, but it's also good to kind of lift yourself up again, so that now you've addressed the issues, you're working on it, you know, you try to do those little tips that I gave you that could help you to uplift your mood again. So yeah, I hope this helps. I really, really hope this helps. And I'm gonna keep uploading more videos. This is like, yeah, I hope you enjoy.